Then. Sure. Welcome to the ninth episode of What Authors Think. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Samir. He is an author, a book reviewer, and also a publishing consultant. So this interview is going to be a much more information for every aspiring author. So stay tuned. So Samirji, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. First and foremost thing, thank you for hosting me. It's an honor to be on the ninth episode of your podcast, wherein we both will be having a good conversation and we'll be talking in general about the literary scene in and around India and how I can help some people to be an author.
Perfect. That's what we are looking for. So, for the audience, in this episode, we'll be talking about the importance of book reviews on Amazon and otherwise also the platforms where you can promote your book through the book reviewer or by yourself as well. And what is the process to get the book published if you are very new to the literary world? Okay. So, starting with the author's journey of Samirji itself. So, what was your last book published, Samirji, and what was the title? Please elaborate about it, a little bit about it.
The fifth book, which is the last book of mine, was published on 1st of January this year.
Okay.
It's an e-book. There is no paperback as of now. It's only available on Kindle. And the title of the book is Unsent, Letters of Love, Loss and Longing. So this is what the whole title is all about. And if you ask me what exactly is the contents of the book, basically the book has 30 different letters written by one person to another person. Okay. Now the whole concept behind these letters is many a times we feel that I need to convey some emotions, some information to a person, but unfortunately at times we are not able to do it. Okay, the reasons may be varied. Okay, and then the best is and then the best thing what we do is we can write it down. But then it happens at that time also कि जो express जो emotions हम लोग बोलना चाहते हैं वो हम लोग लिखते हैं and we are not able to send that letter or we are not able to post that letter. Hence the word it is unsent. So
Okay.
these are all 30 fictional letters written by someone to someone which are unposted, which are unsent. So
Okay.
here you will find a letter written by a daughter to her mother who has already passed away. Here you will find a letter written by a father to his son जिनकी आपस में बनती नहीं है. Okay, then you will find a letter from a husband who is posted on the borders to his wife who is expecting a child. Okay, then you will find a letter from a survivor of an accident to the person who has saved her. So बहुत सारे लेटर्स है 30 लेटर्स है जिसमें इट्स अ varied emotions we can say you have emotions of anger, you have emotions of love, you have emotion of hatred, you name the emotions and we have the emotions in the letter in the book I mean to say. So this is in a nutshell what the whole book is all about.
Okay. Samirji, I want you to tell the name of the book, title of the book once again. There are people asking in the comment box about the book title.
Unsent, 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 and you can directly type my name, Samir Gudhate. So the first book which comes to on your desk is my book.
Okay. So the book title is Unsent and it is available on Amazon in Kindle version. You can simply search Unsent or you can search the author's name, Samir Gudhate, and it will be available over there.
Right.
So now, now moving on from this question to the next question, when I was reading about you and about the books you have written, I really love the titles of all the books you have worked on.
Okay.
That was like very deep and the title itself tells a story. So for the authors, so that they can go to Amazon and search the books. So can you please read it out for the all the audience?
So you mean to say you want me to read out all the titles the book?
Yeah, all the titles and a little bit about the book, what the book is about, so that the audience should know.
The first individual book of mine was a poetry collection. Okay.
Okay.
The name of the book is Whispers of the Soul. Okay. Now that book has 77 poems in it. The book has 77 poems, and basically the poems are of various genres. The poems are of various topics. Now people might be wondering why 77 poems are listed in the book. So the prime reason why 77 poems are there in the book is this book came out on the second death anniversary of my father. And
Okay.
my, my father was on this earth, he was alive for 77 years. So as a tribute to my father, who is my inspiration behind my English language, behind the kind of work which I am doing in English language. Okay. So as a tribute to him, okay, this book had 77 poems and it was released on his second death anniversary. Okay. Prior to that, I was a co-author in an anthology which is called as Flashes of Love. Okay. Now last year there was a online competition wherein I had to come up with flash fiction. Now flash fiction is something wherein the organizers define the number of words. Okay. And it was the month of February, so Valentine month was going on, and the whole theme of the short story was love. Now here the twist was I have to write 7 different stories, and I had to post it every day to the organizers. So
Okay.
one story in 300 words, every day a story to be posted to the organizer. Okay, and fortunately or unfortunately, I really don't know, I won the competition. Okay. The whole concept, what I took, or the route which I took in the short stories was every story, every character of the story was connected to the next story. Like, say, for example, you and me are the main characters of the first story. Okay, there comes a third character in the story, which then becomes main character in the second story. Okay, so
Okay.
this is a kind of a unique thing which I had introduced in the whole short stories, and I was the winner of the competition. And then apart from me, there were other 6-7 people who had completed this writing challenge. So the organizer has come up with a book which is an anthology, we say in the literary terms, which is many co-authors come up with a book. So that was my first book. The second book was Whispers of Love. Okay. The third book which I wrote was again a poem collection. Okay. It it all revolves around a woman. Now
Okay.
every individual, every male has a female in his life or has females in his life, which plays a different role. A woman is a mother, a woman is a sister, a woman is a wife, a woman is a friend, a woman is a philosopher, a woman is a fighter. So any woman plays a variety of roles. So this poem collection of mine, okay, what we can say celebrates the different shades of a woman. Okay, so here there are 25 poems in it, which will talk about one shade of a woman at a time. So one poem will talk about a woman as a mother. The second will talk about a woman as a guide. The third will talk about a woman as a philosopher. The fourth one may talk about a woman as a friend. So in short, there are 15 different poems which is celebrating womanhood. Okay, so these are the first books, and then I took a decision, and from fiction I went to non-fiction. Okay, and at that point of time, Chat GPT was making boom in India big time. Okay, and fortunately, I was someone who was accustomed to ChatGPT from the very start of its era in India, I can say. If I am not mistaken, वो बाहर पहले लॉन्च हुआ था और इंडिया में बाद में उसका बूम आया. लेकिन बूम आने के पहले ही I was using it for my personal work. So taking that into consideration, when I was going on online forums, I was seeing what the discussion is all about. I was talking to people on what ChatGPT is all about. What I found is many people know what ChatGPT is all about, but unfortunately, they don't understand how to use ChatGPT. Okay, so that's where my fourth book came into existence. That is how to effectively use ChatGPT. Because there is one thing, you use ChatGPT, and then there is second thing is you effectively use ChatGPT. So that was
Right.
the book, and then the fifth book we discussed at length.
Okay. So these books are all in the Kindle version, or is it like available in paperback also?
The the anthology and the first poem collection is available in paperback version. The rest
Okay.
three now are only Kindle versions.
So there are few questions from the audience,
Yeah.
So Pranay is asking, were there any letters? We were discussing about the letters earlier. So were there any letters which was overpowering or and made you sad or contemplate about the letter for days? Were there any specific letter which was very close to you?
What happens is it all depends on what I want to convey. Okay.
Okay.
I strongly remember there was a letter. I won't reveal which letter it was. Okay, but it took me a week to complete that letter.
Okay.
Okay, at times I was at loss of emotions. At time I was at a loss of words. At time I was at a loss of ideas to how to take it ahead. So basically, it's all a play of emotions, and you never know which emotion will come at what point of time, because we all are humans and we are full of emotions. So yes, there were letters which have a deep impact on me, which are no way related to what has been written. Okay, like I have not experienced it. I have not been a part of that event, but still it is in the letter. So yes, there are various emotions in the letter, and once you go through the book, you will find a lot of things which we can relate to on a daily basis. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So for the audience, Samirji is also having an academic background of English literature. Okay. So how does that, English literature background help you in your writing journey?
First and foremost thing, my writing journey started somewhere after 13, 14 years after I did my graduation.
Okay.
So for the past 13, 14 years, from my start of the journey and the day I graduated, I was nowhere related to the words. Of course, I was related, but in a different sense. But then I was writing for my clients. I am a content consultant, I am a content developer, I do ghost writing. So for the past 10, 12 years, okay, I have been writing something or the other on a daily basis. Okay. And certainly my education in English literature has helped me to express it in a better way. Okay.
Okay.
Generally, what I see is when people try to express themselves in English, be it orally or be it in a written form, okay, what they do is they start their thought process in their mother tongue, and later on it is translated into English. Okay, and if this thing happens on a stage, the viewers can easily understand that this person is not comfortable with English or he is struggling with English. Okay. Fortunately, with my father as my mentor in English language, okay, my thought process itself starts in English right now. So, so what I can say is my father as my mentor in the English language, and then my education in English literature has helped me to start thinking in English language, and because I start thinking in English language, it's an easy flow from mind to a hand.
Right. So, is it like, before getting into English literature or during that process while you were, graduating, you never started working on any piece of work, or is it like after finishing and you're saying after 14 years of graduation, you actually started writing? It's like before that, kabhi kuch likha nahi tha?
I'll tell you. In 2000, in 1999, I graduated. Okay,
Okay.
and 2013, I was in a corporate job.
Okay.
Okay, I was handling marketing divisions of various national and international businesses. In 2013, I said enough of it. Let's start something of my own. So that is where I started being a marketing consultant and a content consultant. In 2013, content in India was at a very nascent stage. Okay, but I used to write something or the other personally for me every day at that point of time, and I used to publish it on Facebook. Okay,
Okay.
that's how the whole writing started first. Okay, and then I got clients for writing. I used to write blogs for them. I used to write news article for them. I used to write interviews for them. I used to write social media content for them. So this is what I used to do, and I'm still doing it on a daily basis. So writing as such started, frankly speaking, from 2013 onwards. So it's been like 10, 11 years. Something or the other is been written on a daily basis.
Okay. That's beautiful. So you are actually working on everything on every day, right? Is it like the secret of keep on going on?
Sorry.
Is it the secret to, constantly write that you should write at least a few words every day?
Uh, See, frankly speaking, I believe that you need to be self-motivated.
Okay.
Okay, and this attitude of mine came in from the days when I was a UPSC aspirant. Okay, just would like to share at one point of time, I had passed 3 times the UPSC examinations. Okay,
Wow.
2 times for the armed services and once for civil services. Unfortunately, वो आगे जा नहीं पाया. That's a different story altogether. But when I was studying for those exams, I used to study a minimum of 12 hours a day, and that is the minimum requirement if you need to crack those exams. So that is
Yes.
how I started on with doing everything every day. मुझे वो 12 घंटा रोज पढ़ाई करना ही है. If I don't do it today, it's my loss. So
Okay.
that habit was formed during my UPSC aspirant days, wherein you have to study every day. Now the same thing is in a different level that you have to work on every day. Yeah.
The idea has changed.
Right.
Right.
The process has not changed. The most important.
Yeah. So it's an impromptu question right now when you were discussing about this UPSC part, because I didn't read about it in the author's intro or something like that. So now I have two questions, from here. That is it like, like I, heard from someone in the very first interviews of mine as an author, that in order to write anything, whether it is fiction or in order to write, portray your emotions in the form of poetry, you have to get your heart broken. So was it like your UPSC part that, you almost reached, you almost cleared, but, still can't do it? That somewhere helped you in your writing journey?
See, every experience, I personally believe, every experience helps you in your writing journey. Okay. Now, this heartbreak or that emotion is over glorified, I say personally. For me, you and me talking right now, okay, is an experience where I can use it somewhere else.
Right.
Okay. For to be a writer, to be a poet, it is not at all necessary that your heart needs to be broken. But yes, during the journey, our hearts are broken many a times. Okay, and when I'm saying many a times, I'm not talking only the romantic heartbreaks we have gone through.
Exactly.
Okay, so a heartbreak is something which you and me experience regularly, but then that is not the only what you say thing which is behind the writing journey. No, everything which we watch, everything what we read, acts as an inspiration in the writing process.
Right. That's really beautiful and informative. That most people think that if you have to write, then you have to be heartbroken. So it's not the only idea. There is a lot more process to be done, because every individual is heartbroken somewhere for no reasons. So okay. So from this only, one more question which came to my mind: that do you have any idea? Do you have any plans to work on this particular story about somewhere related to preparing for UPSC, for that much working that much hard and still not getting into it? Do you have any piece of work that you plan to write about in future?
Certainly not UPSC. Okay,
Okay.
because when I was preparing for my UPSC exams, many people were not aware what UPSC is all about. Okay,
Okay.
and today with the OTT platforms and YouTube, okay, uh, UPSC and other these competitive exams are you can say over glamorized. Okay, and I don't want to get into that clutter now. Okay, जितना वो easy दिखाते हैं ना, उतना easy वो है नहीं.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like IIT पे ये आए हुए हैं, वेब सीरीज आए हुए हैं, यूपीएससी पे वेब सीरीज आए हुए हैं. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't have any plans. I am thinking on writing a film or might be a web series, but certainly it is not related to the UPSC or Indian Army kind of thing.
Okay. That's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to see this, watch this series whenever it comes. Okay. So moving on to the next question, like you have worked in fiction, you have worked in non-fiction, you have worked on poetry and technical writing. So how do you manage to write all that, parallelly? Is it like a parallel thing, or you have to first finish one work, then get into a different genre? What is the secret behind it?
There is no secret sauce.
Okay.
For me, there is no secret sauce. The only secret sauce is you have to keep working day in, day out. Okay. At this point of time, I might be writing a poetry. The next hour, I might be writing something for my client, which is to be uploaded on his Instagram or her Instagram. Okay. Uh, Next, I might be writing or helping my daughter in her essay. So, at the base of it is your thought process. That is the most important thing which I personally believe. Okay, you may differ on my idea. There are many people who may not buy my idea of the thought process. But at the end of the day, what I believe is what my thought process is all about. My thought process is I have to come up with content. So at the base of it is content, irrespective of what genre it is, irrespective of what form it is. It is me expressing what I feel. I might express something in a dialogue format. Like if you go to my Facebook profile, you will see that I am trying to convey a message through a series of dialogue between me and my 10-year-old daughter.
Okay.
That is something what I do. Poetry is something on a very different format. Writing for clients is a completely different story altogether. Okay, technical writing or a semi-technical writing is something different. But at the base of it is what your thought process is all about.
Okay. Perfect.
For me,
Okay.
it is not like that. I am in a state of my mind wherein I can write only poetry. I am in a state of my mind wherein I can write only fiction. Frankly speaking, a writer has to be like an actor. An actor is only playing the character when he is in front of a camera. So, as per the requirement, a writer has to mold himself. This is what I personally feel.
Perfectly said. Okay, so we have a question from the audience. Any kind of writing discipline you would like to advise to budding writers? This is from Aparna.
Okay. Hey, hi Aparna, how are you? Aparna is a good friend of mine.
Uh,
Uh, the most important thing what I feel is you have to act what makes you comfortable. Okay. I am comfortable getting up at 4 o'clock and start working. There might be people who are comfortable working late nights. So be it from for a budding author or be it for anyone, okay, what I would say is I have no secret advice for you. The only thing what I can tell you is you have to work upon every day to refine yourself. ओके इट मेरा कंफर्ट जोन अलग हो सकता है, आपका कंफर्ट जोन अलग हो सकता है. तो इफ आई से मैं 12 घंटा पढ़ाई करता हूँ डजंट मीन आपको भी 12 घंटा पढ़ाई करना है. ओके सो फॉर एवरी इंडिविजुअल इट इज डिफरेंट. what the individual has to understand is what suits him or her and act accordingly.
That's a great piece of advice. We are saying that there is no advice, but there is an advice, right? Okay. So moving on to the next question from this, like you have worked on, so many genres, different genres. So if you have to name one genre as your favorite, so what would it be and why?
See, it's like you are asking a mother which child is her favorite.
But still, I will ask because that's an interest.
Mother can't name a child which.
Okay.
For a writer, whatever he writes is his favorite. So if you ask me which book of mine is favorite, all books of mine are favorite.
Okay. No, that question will come, after a few questions. This question was only about genre. You cannot shorten my interview.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, okay, we can, skip this question as you answered that every book is your favorite. So, like, what are the challenges you have faced in writing so many books from 2013, you said, so till now? So, what were the challenges, the most difficult things that you have faced in the whole writing process, as in, starting from the writing to publishing to promotion, everything? What is the most difficult part?
The most difficult part as a writer or as an author is to find publishers.
Okay.
Okay? Unfortunately, in India, publishers are not at all encouraging new talent to be on their platform. Okay, so because of that, the whole concept of self-publishing has come into existence. Okay, my books are also self-published. I am not denying that, but it is not the actual way how publishing should work. The good old publishing days were the days when new authors used to come, publisher used to invest in them, and then the author used to flourish. But these days, the publications are taking a very what you say conservative route. They are not at all investing on authors which are unknown.
Okay.
So that is the first challenge. Okay, for many authors, writing is not a challenge. Finding a good publisher is a challenge, and after that, they don't find a publisher. Then they go for the self-publishing route, and then marketing himself or herself as an author and marketing the book is the most difficult part for a author or for an individual who is a writer. Yeah. So this I feel is the tough thing to crack.
Okay. So this was about the publishing part, but when before moving to the publishing part, when it comes to only writing or from writing, starting from completing a story to finishing a book, before getting it to the
Right.
publication, what do you think is the difficult part where people should focus and constantly properly work on it before going to the publisher?
Okay. See, there are many areas in which people can focus. Is the most important part is the plot of the story.
Okay.
Just because I feel this plot is going to work doesn't make that this plot will work. Okay, so that is something we can work upon. Okay, Later on is how the story is developing. That is something the author has to look upon. Okay, proofreading is something which is very important. Unfortunately, in India, हम लोग उस पर ध्यान ही नहीं देते हैं. So proofreading is something a challenge we can say, and then is reaching out to readers who can help refine the craft or refine the book is an important thing. So all these things are challenges, okay, but fortunately these all challenges are met by the author. The biggest challenge is getting a publisher and then marketing the book.
Okay. Thank you
Writer
so much for all this information.
is completely a journey of challenges itself.
Okay, so it's not a piece of cake like it seems from outside. Okay, so moving on to the second part of your journey or second part of your profile, I would say, that is book reviewing. So all for all the audience, Samirji is also a book reviewer. So Samirji, how important it is for the authors to get the book reviews?
Sorry, come again.
So I'm saying that as you're a book reviewer also, so this part is really important for this episode. So how important for the authors is to get the book reviews for any kind of promotion?
Okay. See, the most important thing right now which is happening is majority of the books are bought over internet. There
Okay.
are very few people who actually go to a bookstore and buy a book. Okay. So what happens is when we go on Amazon to buy any product, the most important thing what we see is what people are talking about the product. Okay. So now here the product is a book. The logic which we apply to, for example, buying a pen on Amazon, the same logic, unfortunately, these days is used in buying a book. So in that case, reviews help a lot. It's kind of a marketing tool for an author.
Okay. So was it like different a few years back, you want to say, like when this Amazon concept was not that much and big and people still used to go offline to buy the books?
See, at that point of time, there were no online platforms. I used to go out to a bookstore and buy a book. Okay. I used to go buy a book based on the first page, the back page, and some of the middle pages. Okay. Unfortunately, right now we can only see the first page and the back page. Okay.
Right.
And hence your book reviews come into action over here. And in the olden days, online platform to the ही नहीं. So book reviews published only in newspapers, and that was what you say catering only to a select audience. But with the advent of internet, books are available to anyone. Okay, like किसी भी गांव खेड़े में आज Amazon जाता है, Amazon deliver करता है. So for an author, book reviews help in marketing himself as an author and the book itself.
Perfect. So your hair minister is commenting, oh, you are spilling the beans. Definitely he is.
I don't.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. These questions are actually from all the aspiring authors who are literally new to the literary world, and they are exploring with every step that how dangerous it could be, how much money investing it could be, about book reviews or everything. So the next question is like, does only positive review counts, or is it like for Amazon it doesn't matter? It is like negative reviews also. When someone enters, there are 26 reviews or 27 reviews. That overall reviews count, or is it like positive, or how much it is, 5 or 4 or 3? How does it work?
If we take into consideration the algorithm part, okay, the algorithm will only track how many reviews are present and what are the stars given to the review. Okay.
Okay.
And if someone is reading the review and then making a decision, it will impact a lot. Okay. Now you are asking about positive reviews and negative reviews. Okay. As a book reviewer, I personally feel no book is perfect. Okay. Yet there are authors who ask me for 5-star reviews. Okay, but I have a policy that
No, I'll come to this question later on.
fine.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you,
No,
but
no,
I'll
not.
come to this question later on.
So next question, please.
No, no. Okay. So you are saying right now, let me simplify for the audience who will be watching it later on. So you are saying it depends on the perspective the reader is going for the to look for the product, right? That if the reader is simply looking forward to the number of reviews, then it is good. But if it actually gets into the reviews, then it matters. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I interrupted you, but
Not you know of the question. I don't know.
okay. So the next question is, like, how many reviews are actually important if someone has to ask, after which the Amazon by itself, start promoting the book? Is there any defined threshold number of
Well,
reviews?
frankly speaking, I don't have any answer to this. Okay,
Okay.
because that is what something Amazon knows. Okay, we as a book reviewer, we don't know that part. Okay, we don't know the algorithm on which Amazon works. Okay, so I don't know what kind of threshold it is. I don't know whether Amazon promotes by himself or the author needs to pay to Amazon to promote the book. I have never ever done it, so I
Okay.
really don't know what is the threshold on which the Amazon promotes the books.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying this. So moving on to the next question, this is my personal, question that when it comes to the earlier thing you were saying, that when it comes to book reviews, it is like, if the author is paying. So are you as a reviewer biased about this, publishing the reviews?
Okay. Uh, on a very personal note, I will say no book is perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Something or another thing is missing in each and every book if I look from a book reviewer's perspective. Okay. So, taking that into consideration, when you go through my review, okay, my review has negatives about a book. Okay. That is something which is mandatory in a book review. Okay. Unfortunately, right now there are authors who say they don't want any negative points on their book, which I feel is just because the author is paying doesn't mean I should write only goody goody things about the book. Okay, the author is paying me as a service for the review. He
Okay.
can't tell me what review is to be written. Okay, so if that kind of author approaches me, I strictly say no to it. I say I will write down what I feel about the book. If your book is good, it may get 4.5 stars, 5 stars. But if your book is pathetic, be ready for 1 star also.
Okay.
And if you go through my book reviews, you will see from 1 star to 4.5 star, 5 star at times. Books have been given all the stars, all the ratings. Because just because the author is paying me for the review doesn't mean I will write only good things about him or he will ask me the way he wants the review to be written. He is paying me for my service of reading the book and then reviewing it. At the end of the day,
Right.
I think what is to be written in it.
Right. Right. That's very, clear of you, and you're working with your principles. That's really
Certainly,
good. So,
certainly.
okay. So from this, moving on to the next question, in the era of Chat GPT or AI, like you have written, 4 books on Chat GPT.
Now,
So is it like how,
just one
sorry,
book. I would
one book,
like to
okay,
rectify.
one book.
The fourth one was ChatGPT.
Okay, fourth one. Sorry, I misinterpreted. Okay, so if you have read a book on your, if you have written a book on ChatGPT, so during this time, present time, how how genuine are the authors? Like when it comes to, because everything is available through ChatGPT or AI. So how genuine are the authors also, and how genuine are the reviewers about writing the reviews? Both aspects, because you are both, right, an author and a reviewer. So
Right. See, to be very frank, ChatGPT works on a concept called as GIGO. Okay, if you know that term, GIGO stands for garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
So ChatGPT will give you what you have asked for. Okay, so it all depends on what kind of prompt are you giving ChatGPT. Okay, at one point of time, ChatGPT can certainly help book reviewers. To a certain extent, it can help authors. But at the end of the day, it is your creativity which will take it ahead. Okay, like for example, if I want to write a short story, okay, my prompt will be itself designed in such a way that it is creative. Okay, I can get the pointers of a short story, and then on a personal level I can expand them. Okay, it is not at all necessary that we do the same thing every time. At times, now the web series which I am planning to write, okay, that is not generated by ChatGPT. That is generated by something which is inside. That is my own software. Okay, and that software is much more efficient than what ChatGPT is all about. Okay, so for authors, for book reviewers, ChatGPT can help to a certain extent, but then it is the author or the book reviewer who has to work upon it. It is at the end of the day this software which matters.
Beautifully said. Because most of the people this generation have a perspective who are specifically not into the writing journey till now, that you can get everything through chat gpt or AI. You simply don't need to write anything,
But
because then
Shubham, I understand that everything is available on ChatGPT,
but
but
still
just imagine a person who was not writing anything for years and years start posting on social media with huge jargons and huge words. People are smart enough to understand where the content.
I understand. That's really beautiful. Okay. So moving on to the next question. This one is really important. As a reviewer, which platforms do you use to promote your client's work?
Okay. Uh, as of now, my reviews are posted on 6 different platforms. Okay.
Okay.
All the books are bought from Amazon. So the first platform is Amazon. The second is Goodreads. Third is Instagram. The fourth is my Facebook page. The fifth is my own blog, and the sixth one is Twitter.
Okay.
Okay. I had started off with Threads when Thread made a big entry in the Indian market, but then Threads niche chala gaya, so I have stopped working with Threads, and as of now, 6 platforms are being used.
Okay. The 6 platforms. Okay. And like this apart from this 6 platform, is there anything which an author at a personal level can use, or is it like the 6 platforms is enough to promote a book?
See,
Because see, Insta, Facebook is available with everyone. Twitter is also available. Goodreads, people still find it, somewhere difficult to start with, but then it starts somewhere. So is it like mostly like Amazon and Goodreads are the different platform apart from what you use in your regular life, right?
see, when I started only with Instagram.
Okay.
Later on, I upgraded myself, and today I am on 6 platforms.
Okay.
Okay, there's a possibility I may come up with my own podcast of book reviewing. We really don't know. Okay, so there are n number of platforms available. Okay, it all depends on that individual की कहाँ पे उसको publish करना है. Like there are many who use just 3 platforms. Uh, Instagram है, Goodreads है, and Amazon है.
Right.
So it depends on what that book reviewer is willing to do or wanting to do.
Right. Right. So moving on to the next question, which is again my favorite question, although सभी question मेरे favorite होंगे because the questions interview में है तो. लेकिन the second question is like, as you must have as a reviewer read a lot of books, right? Okay, so ऐसा क्या point होता है जो एक book को बिल्कुल successful बना देता है या it makes the book stand apart, from other books? What point that you have observed in those books?
The story, the most
Okay.
important, uh, how relatable the characters are, Okay, and what is the kind of language which has been used. Okay, so I feel these are the three main points on which the success of a book depends upon.
Perfect. So now I want you to give some tips for the budding authors, aspiring authors to promote their books at a lesser cost.
Okay, uh, the first and foremost thing is this is not the right platform to give any tips because tips तो बहुत सारे हैं and वो टिप मैं ऐसे नहीं बोल सकता कि ठीक है जाके दरवाजा खोलिए. Okay, these tips need a proper explanation. These tips need a proper way to go ahead. Okay, so what I have done is when it comes to a topic called as author branding. Okay, I have a series of articles written. Okay, I will share the links with you. You can share it in the description. Okay, wherein it is a 30 article series on how to brand yourself as an author. Okay, so those things are 13 different things what I have mentioned in the article. One tip is mentioned in one single article. So it's a series of 13 articles. What I can do is I can share the links with you, and then you can share it with the audience. Okay, but then coming to the thing is ऐसा कोई secret tip नहीं है again and again. Okay, it be authentic, be real. Okay, connect with your audience. Okay, that is what the real secret sauce. If it is, it is.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So for the audience, Samirji will be, sharing with me the links of the author branding advertisements or author branding content. So it will be available on my Insta as well. So you can follow my Insta and you can get from there. You can directly connect to Samirji as well for the details.
And if people go to my Instagram
Yeah,
profile,
there
the one
also it is available. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Perfect. You can connect to Samirji as well directly. It is available on his Insta as well, from where you can get the details of what an aspiring author, you should do in order to promote your work or at the initial stages, and later on also. Okay. So now moving on to the third part of your, profile, that is publishing consultant. So I want you to, describe in a very simple form that what is the process of getting a work published or book published for all the aspiring authors in the audience.
Okay, okay. Being a publishing consultant or a literary consultant, okay, even I am at a nascent stage, okay.
Okay.
But then that came out of necessity, okay. When my book of 77 poems was completed, okay, there was no publishing house who was ready to publish it, okay, because मैं कौन हूँ मुझे कौन पहचानता है. Certainly मैं शशि थरूर तो नहीं हूँ, certainly मैं शोभा डे नहीं हूँ, certainly मैं अमीश नहीं हूँ. So these publication houses, they work only with well-known big names. Okay, so hence started my journey of finding a publishing house. Okay, at last I found a publishing house which published my book. Okay, and then I came to know that there are many authors who are facing the same problem. Okay, उनका स्टोरी बहुत अच्छा है, उन्होंने जो लिखा है वो बहुत अच्छा है, but unfortunately publishing companies are not ready to work with them.
Okay.
So hence came in my new role, wherein I work as a publishing consultant, wherein I act as a single point of contact between the author and the publisher. Okay, and then I help the author to get an entry into the publishing house. So this is a very new domain for me itself. Okay, there are many players in this domain who are doing really good work. Mine is just a start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still, like, if some aspiring authors or budding authors which are stuck somewhere can contact you to get into the process.
Certainly they can connect with me.
Perfect. So like for the audience, you can connect Samirji. If you are anywhere stuck in the process of publishing, he will definitely guide you. Okay. So now moving. Yeah.
Also writing also.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, now this is again very interesting question because this is where I believe that the author is born from inside, no matter for how, if maybe 10, 20 years later the book get published, but somewhere the journey starts from there. So which one story or an author that stayed with you, that somewhere inspired you to write and become an author?
Well, frankly speaking, I don't remember that date or that time because I have been reading since my childhood.
Okay.
Okay, like I remember I have cried for a book when I
Okay.
was when I was a kid. Okay, I strongly remember I was of that age where children used to cry for a toy or a cricket bat or a chocolate or a pack of biscuits. Okay, but then I was crying for a book. Okay, and I was a reader. I am a reader for a very long time. So frankly speaking, I can't define that one point जहाँ पे the author in me was born. Okay,
And Arjun, I am asking about one book or one story, or any author that
I
inspired you.
really
Is
can't tell.
okay.
Okay, because I have been reading for a very long time, and I really don't know how it all started. But yes, by the grace of God, it started.
Okay. So if you have to name any favorite authors, are there any specific, or it is like it keeps on changing?
Uh, See, as of now, I am reading only new authors these days.
Okay,
Okay, but yes, in that there are some good authors, but then certainly can't name them because मैं
I
इसको
understand.
पढ़ूंगा तो इसको बुरा लगेगा उसको पिक करूँ तो
Right.
say, but yes, there are good authors, and I am reading a lot of them these days.
Okay. So if you have to name, one of your favorite books from your written work, then what would it be? Like जो आपने 4 किताबें लिखी उसमें से एक किताब आपको नाम लेनी हो कोई, that is your favorite, that is very close to your heart, then what would it be?
The close,
And अभी आपको आंसर करना चाहिए, I believe.
sorry,
इस क्वेश्चन का आपको आंसर करना चाहिए. You should not say कि नहीं सभी क्लोज है.
the close one is the first book which I held in my hand. That was Whispers.
Okay. Okay. And the reason was because it was your first published book, is it so?
It was my first published book. It was my first published book, which was a poetry book.
Okay.
The was something which I was very hesitant to work upon. There is a backstory to it. Let's not get into it right now. But poetry was something which I was not comfortable. So
Okay.
I overpowered that emotion of mine. Okay, and then took poetry writing on a very serious level. Okay, uh, jotted down 70, 75 poems, and then came a period when I need to go into the publishing. And then the concept of 77 poems, and when my father passed away, he was 77 years old. So whole thing came in together. And the first book which I held myself with my name on it is certainly very close to my heart.
I understand. Perfect. Okay. So, this was all about your author's journey. So now moving on to the favorite section of the whole episode, where I ask the author a question which is not related to the literary part, which is not related to his author journey,
Okay.
So, but it is somewhere related to the social part that defines your understanding of the society, how you connect with the society. So the question is, like in this era, in this present time, do you believe that India is slowly turning to, from democracy to dictatorship?
You want me to give my
Yes, I want
answer?
to give your opinion. Yes, exactly.
Uh, I will say is at this point of time, India is on a verge of getting into a dictatorship from a democratic state. Okay,
Okay.
uh, obviously there are many reasons to it. Okay, but yes, democracy is at stake at this point of time. This is what I personally feel.
That's good that you
Now,
answered that. Very.
leftist or rightist or
Yeah.
centrist, irrespective of that, this is what my personal opinion is all about.
I understand. Thank you for answering this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So, like Samirji, thank you so much for joining this episode. It was really fun and a lot learning because we, learned about reviews, we learned about promotion, author branding, everything. So, thank you so much for joining in and connecting with the audience and me as well.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on your show. And certainly, this collaboration is going to go way ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.